I think we have the question.
Pardon, merci.
The question is about, just to summarize.
There's an explanation. There's a very, like you have to understand India. Like, India became independent in 1947, and we were a very poor country. We were a very poor country that slowly grew up. We had very little cinemas, very small cinemas, and cinemas existed only in the cities. Much later in the 70s, government came up with a scheme to build a cinema in each district, a single cinema in each district. How do you explain? No,
each
region,
neighborhood.
One cinema in each region. And we were very poor in the sense that we don't have opera. We went to theater. Theater was very specific to the cities, or there was some kind of a form of entertainment where the men would dress up as women and dance in small rural Indias. So we did not have theater, we did not have opera, we did not have circus. So cinema became everything. It became the concert, was cinema, theater, circus, opera, everything that entertainment of, like, say for example, if I go to New York or Paris, the entertainments, there's so many forms of entertainment available to people. In India, the only form of entertainment was cinema, until cricket became the other form of entertainment when India won the World Cup. So that's my only explanation. And we were very poor in the sense we would travel to places, like my father would take me on the weekend to another city 3 hours away to watch only if there was an Amitabh Bachchan film playing. Otherwise, all the other films were played on a white sheet or a white wall in the club on the weekend when the government would send the film. Because there would be one print of the film that would go from one government colony to another government colony, because the only important jobs were the government jobs in India. Because we slowly grew up where until 1993, till the globalization happened. So in India, most important jobs were government jobs, so there were government colonies. And the film print, after it did the whole round of cinemas, and then it exhausted its audience, the government would circulate it in the private clubs made in various government colonies for them to watch the film. That was the only entertainment available to us. So there was nothing else available to us. The television came in the late 80s for us. And the television had educational programs initially. So it has a lot to do with our economics and poverty and things, and that's why cinema was everything for us. And most important was radio to us, because radio is where we heard cinema before we saw cinema. And music is what was our life. Music is like, for me, whatever film I do, I have music, because music is how we grew up. And we heard cinema through radio first, before we saw it. So which is why, and every cinema at that time, they would insist on instilling hope in people. Because we were fighting, we were really starving nation in the beginning, and slowly the government started building things up. So cinema also had to be about hope and love and all things positive. But I think now we are living in a different time. And I think now it's also important to hold the mirror.